When you consider the question, are your actions speaking louder than your words? And the fact that somebody might suggest that your inconsistency makes you a hypocrite or even calls into question your salvation, how do you respond? Thanks for tuning in today to Life as God Intended. I'm Don, and I'm delighted that you've joined us in this broadcast. This is a second in a series that we've been discussing, are your actions speaking louder than your words? So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, thanks for doing so and sharing these videos with your friends. This listener also asked the question relative to this subject: was this ministry leader who had this major failures in their life, were they hypocrites? Were they a hypocrite? Well, I would simply ask, what is a hypocrite? Many people use that terminology, but I'm not sure we always understand what we're referring to. What is a hypocrite? Well, under the law, I would suggest that we all become hypocrites. You see, the word hypocrite comes from the Greek word theater. It's play acting. That's the foundation of what the word means. And so a hypocrite is not an imperfect person. A hypocrite is an actor, a pretender. What made the Pharisees hypocrites was not their faults and failures. It was their pretense that they were righteous. It was teaching one thing and doing another. But that is what the law, ladies and gentlemen, will always produce. So I would caution us, because I think we've probably all been hypocritical a time or two in our lives, particularly when we were saying one thing and doing another, or particularly when we were attempting to live up to the law standards when we should have known that that was an impossibility and that the law will never produce anything. And so what happens is that people are always hiding their real selves. They're always acting. They're always pretending. They're never being real. And let's be honest, one of the most difficult places for Christians to be real about their struggles, where would that be? Well, you may have answered the church, and unfortunately that's true. One of the hardest places to share your struggles is around other Christians, because of the pretext that we're all just doing dandy, we're all just doing fine, that we're following all the teachings, that we're keeping all the rules, and that we aren't frankly making any mistakes. Well, that's not correct. We are imperfect persons, but we're not hypocritical for being imperfect. We're hypocritical for pretending to be something that we're not. She also asked if this person was living one way and speaking and preaching another way, were they actually saved? And I think that this question really illustrates something tragic amongst Christians. Salvation is one of the most important words of the Christian faith by far. And yet, it is also one of the most misunderstood words among Christians today. Let me illustrate it like this. Perhaps the most common misunderstanding of the word salvation is the popular and common equating of the phrase getting saved with an initial acceptance of the gospel of Jesus Christ, which I would refer to as the regeneration or the conversion of an individual. And so they equate getting saved with that initial introduction and acceptance of Jesus. And when this occurs, the concept of salvation becomes a bit of a subjective experience. You know, you've heard people say, you know, giving their testimony about when they got saved. And basically they're talking about their, quote, conversion experience, allegedly getting saved on a particular occasion, on a specific date. That was a particular event in their life. And when a personal response has been made in accord with whatever the religious formula might have been that you were introduced to, that you were instructed to pray or to walk an aisle or to be baptized or to do this or that to receive Jesus, then that procedure of that particular religious group becomes your understanding of salvation. That's a very unfortunate understanding of the word. So what does the word salvation actually mean? Well, it actually means to be made safe. Salvation involves being made safe from the dysfunction of satanically abused humanity. So what do I mean by that? We were all born in sin with the spiritual condition of Satan. We were spiritually, satanically abused. We were born in sin. And in order to function as God intended, there had to be a spiritual exchange that would take place. And frankly, there was nothing that you and I could do to bring that about. That was something that God did through Christ on our behalf. And so that famous passage there in John 3:16, for God the Father, so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, that whosoever would believe on him would not perish but have everlasting life. You see, salvation involves being made safe from the satanically abused spiritual condition that we inherited from Adam, and being receptive of the resurrection life of Jesus Christ, the indwelling presence of Christ, experiencing the divine character of Jesus in our daily lives. That's what salvation is. It's the ongoing participation whereby we are made safe from the dysfunction of sin. So as we've considered the topic of whether or not a person's a hypocrite or whether or not somebody is saved, I hope that you've been encouraged in a personal, intimate relationship with Jesus Christ and aren't so much worried about the semantics of definitions as much as what God's doing in your life. We hope you were encouraged and blessed by this video. We would love to have your feedback and interact with you. If you have a testimony that relates to today's discussion, please share it below in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so that each time we upload a video that you'll be notified. Be sure to check out our blog on our website, which is in the description below. And until next time, may you experience life as God intended.